From Division 4, we go all the way up to Division 1 as we bring aboard the head basketball coach for the Boardman girls basketball team, Coach Brett Green. Coach, how are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Anthony and I were talking earlier in the show about Boardman, and I have made this comment. I would not want to play the Boardman Spartans in round one of the tournament because it appears that you're getting your girls into the identity of Spartan basketball. And having lived in Boardman, that is a dangerous proposition for any basketball team to face because Spartan basketball in my era was, woo, man, it was good. And if you have that team in that frame of mind, that's a nightmare matchup for anybody in round one.
Yeah, we're just, winning is hard, and we're trying to instill some of that, old Spartan tradition of just playing hard all the time. It's a mindset change, and they're going through it. When I first was hired, I talked to Coach Michelle. I talked to a lot of, Boardman alumni, and sitting and talking with, Coach Birch and Marco as well, just how we want to go about things. And, it's a process.
You guys have really had to persevere this season. A slow start, and the record doesn't show how much improvement you guys have made. Talk about what you've seen from the team as the year has gone on and how they've kind of gelled together, found an identity, and now they're starting to really catch some traction.
We're really young. Our team is really young. There's about 12 girls that was on the roster last year that are not on the roster this year. But we've got a few seniors actually that have really bought into the program. Of course, there's Reagan Berkey and Katie Stamp, who, Katie Stamp has impressed me throughout the entire process. But early on, we had some injuries. We had some people, who had to sit out just like, everyone else has with COVID and everything else like that. But we've got a couple players back, and it's starting to really gel.
Coach, how much did you lean on those seniors to provide the leadership on and off the floor?
I was hired back in June, and from the very beginning, we started strength and conditioning, and some of them, we didn't even have to say anything. They just kind of just jumped up in front of the line and said, hey, this is how we're going to do things. We pulled them to the side and said, this is how we want to play. These are some of the things that we need to do, prior to the season even coming here, and a few of them really bought in.
One of your more recent games that I think really caught my eye, Warren Harding, you ended up losing, but you fought that team tooth and nail the whole night, and a lot of people think Warren Harding is one of the better teams in the area. What did you see from your team in that game that really made you excited for what you have going forward?
You know what? That Warren Harding, hats off to them. They're a really, really great team. And Birch, good luck to her throughout the rest of the season, and as she goes on to Cleveland State. She's a heck of a player. We just kind of just fought. And, we talk about character and, how you act. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And, people are going to remember this game. Boardman hasn't beat. I talked to our seniors, Boardman hasn't beat Warren Harding. They've never beat them, since they became freshmen. And it was like, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want to go out and do here? And, we looked at the film and we talked about the game and everything. There was a few things that we can improve on, just like there is every game. There's a few things that you can improve on. But I think that game right there helped them to start to really believe that they can play.
Coach, you brought up something earlier in the interview, and that's the tradition of Boardman basketball. I mean, girls basketball, Ron Michelle led the team to some really interesting heights, plenty of regional tournaments, a handful of state basketball tournaments. You go on the boys' side, I go back into the days of Alan Burns in the early, mid-late 70s. Pat Birch has done an unbelievable job with this basketball program. Basketball is a way of life at Boardman, and Spartan Nation loves their basketball. What were your thoughts as you took this job from the aspect of where you want your program to be on the pantheon of Spartan greatness?
We just wanted to just add to it, not change too much, but sprinkle in a little bit of our own flavor. Coming from Midland, Pennsylvania, that's where I'm from originally. there's a winning tradition there, dating back to the 60s, and then as well as, playing high school ball in East Liverpool, Ohio. On Coach Birch's staff is Steve Flores, who played at Pitt and YSU, and he's, a person I talk to like every single day, as well as, Coach Birch. And we just kind of just want to add that fight in there, in a way of simplifying things so that the girls are playing fast.
And you said it, you are a young team. One of the young players I think everyone should be talking about on your squad is Mackenzie Riccatelli. I mean, what a talent. What can you say about coaching her and what she brings to the court?
She listens. She really does. One thing we talk about is just valuing every single possession and how a point guard has to be an extension of the coach. And, we talked to her, we talked to, Gia Treveri, and a couple of other guards of, what you do on the court, regardless of how much the coach screams and yells during the game, what you do on the court is what everybody else is going to do. So if you aren't composed and you start going, out of control, the rest of the team is going to do the same thing, regardless of how many timeouts we call, what we do as coaches. So one thing she really does is listen, and she's starting to understand that, there's certain times to attack and there's certain times to pull it back out. And the last game that she had, I think she had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and the big thing about all of that was she had 0 turnovers. So that was really huge. When you can have a point guard play almost the entire game and don't turn the ball over, you're in business.
Coach, you talked about growing up in Midland, Pennsylvania, which is just across the border from East Liverpool, Ohio, about 30 minutes south of Boardman. It's a different mentality of basketball in the East Liverpool and Midland area than it is in Boardman. Have you brought some of that mentality into Boardman?
I would hope so. Being, in Midland, one thing we do a lot is we talk all the time, playing on the basketball courts in 4th Street and also down 10th Street. And, mixing that up with East Liverpool, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was just, they're pretty much the same way over there. So, I was blessed to be a part of a lot of great teams over there. One thing we talk about a lot is communicating and talking all the time. One of the best basketball players at University of North Carolina of all time, people always say, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, this and that, but it was Rasheed Wallace. And why was it Rasheed Wallace? Because he didn't shut up. He made sure that everyone on the court knew at all times what everybody else was doing. So, and that's what made the teams he was on really great.
You talked about your conversations with Coach Birch when you got the job. And, he's established there at Boardman and he's established a standard of excellence. What kind of things do you think in the early days of having the job did Coach Birch help you with, and how much did those conversations with him really help you out when you first took the job?
Experience in this community. Me and my wife aren't exactly from here. My wife is from Columbiana. Stevie, her maiden name is Goist. She played basketball and softball there. Me not being from this area as well, we've been here since 2016, but, he's from here, this area, and, just the community, athletics, and working with the students, as he also teaches a lot of them.
Coach, Anthony and I, at some point in time, did some coaching, and I can't speak for Anthony, but I can speak for myself. Trying to get kids to talk on defense is like pulling teeth. It is so difficult to see kids that are yelling and screaming and having a good old time before practice starts, and yet when you try to tell them to start communicating on defense, to say pick, screen, and talk and get everyone in position, it's like you're speaking a foreign language to those same kids that have no problem talking before and during practice, but they're shut up while they're playing defense. Drove me nuts. How do you get your kids to talk when it comes to playing defense?
Hey, I hear you on that. Before practice is loud, after practice is loud, but during practice, it's like, what are we supposed to say? So we try to simplify things a lot and just say what's in front of you, what's going on. What do you see? If you just say what you see and you keep saying it, you can't be wrong. And communicating on defense and on offense, it's contagious. If I can get one person to start talking, then the next person starts talking, and you got to keep repeating it. It's kind of like when I used to coach football, it was, as far as defensive backs, how do we talk? If I scream something into the one corner, he needs to say it to the safety, the free safety who needs to say it to the strong safety who needs to say it to the corner, and it goes all across the field because there's no way in the world across the entire field that the opposite side corner is going to hear me. So we try to do the same thing with basketball.
You know, you touched on the leadership of Katie Stamp and Reagan Berkey, both players that are going to go play other sports at the next level. They understand the standard it takes. How much have they meant to this program, not just the success this year, but showing the young kids what the standard is so they can succeed in years to come?
You know, the young kids always look up, and I want to add another senior in there too. I mean, we have two of them. There's Kennedy and also Bailey Moore. Bailey Moore, you know, she's played a lot in the past. This year, she's kind of taken a role of just kind of leading our scout team. That's been huge, making us be able to get a good look. And she is constantly attacking the girls that, you know, are playing, you know, on game day. I mean, she's going at them and making them better. And she's taking that role, and, you know, hats off to her. But as far as our seniors go, if they don't buy in, you know, the younger kids, you know, the McKenzie, the Sam Goobles, Gia, if they're not looking up to, well, they look up to them all the time, but if the seniors aren't buying in, then it'd be even harder for the young ones to buy in.
Brett Green, the head basketball coach of the Boardman girls basketball program, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline. And I mentioned program because everyone loves to talk varsity basketball, but you know as well as I do, Coach, it starts a hell of a lot earlier than high school. Talk about your program. I know that pre-junior high you guys have a program for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th graders. As you have taken over Boardman, what have you done to put culture back into the Spartan program?
So first and foremost, I want to thank Steve and Jen Flores in the girls' youth basketball program, Steve Smith. You know, when we first moved here, our daughter was young. She was in 2nd grade, and they were coaching the 4th grade girls team with their daughter Maya, and they allowed, you know, my daughter Maisie to be able to play up with them, and she continues to play. So Steve and I are still coaching the girls' 6th grade team right now, even with him coaching, you know, assistant varsity coach for boys and me on the girls' side. But youth program, you know, we're trying to get more girls involved, and that's the thing, because you're always going to have a drop-off. There's going to be a drop-off, and for some reason it appears that there, or seems to be that there's more of a drop-off when it comes to girls basketball than boys basketball as they get older. So, you know, you want to kind of play the numbers, and the more that we get at a very young age in 2nd and 3rd grade, you know, hopefully the more we have, you know, a strong group together as they become seniors in high school, juniors and seniors in high school. So right now, you know, we worked through COVID with Marco and the school administration and everything. We're able to get, you know, a sense of still have a youth program, but we're going to be doing a lot of different things here in the spring. I don't want to put all of that out there. I want to keep that, you know, in-house, but we're going to be very active in our 2nd through 8th grade, trying to get more girls playing AAU. So been trying to reach out to different AAU programs in the area, you know, as far as Canton all the way down to, you know, Monaca, Pennsylvania, and get our girls playing year-round, because it's really hard to compete against other teams whose, you know, players are playing 10 months a year when ours are only playing 3 to 4 months a year.
When you look at all that, you think about all the things you can do with not the youth and the junior high. How excited does that make you for the future of this program and the years to come with you at the helm?
I'm really excited. Our 5th grade and our 4th grade girls basketball teams right now, I'm really excited for, you know, when they come up. Our 7th and 8th grade girls teams right now are doing really well. Hats off to all of our coaches. Our 3rd grade team, I mean, we've got a great coaching staff from 3rd grade through 8th grade right now. We've got some other head varsity basketball coaches that are coaching our youth program. We've got guys, you know, who've got a lot of, and also women who have a lot of years of experience, even playing Division I sports, you know, throughout 3rd through 8th grade.
Brett Green, the Boardman girls basketball coach, joining us on the MP Vivo Heating and Air Conditioning Hotline as we talk present Spartans basketball. Anthony and I were looking at the Division I girls basketball tournament, the Super Size Me tournament. Let's just say that it's going to be filled with a lot of really interesting names, and interesting in a damn they're good kind of a way. It'll be a fun journey and hopefully for Boardman, it's a lengthy journey, but man, there are some really good basketball teams in this tournament.
Oh yeah, and I told Marco, like, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime, because it won't be a negative doing that, throughout the season. And we had the chance to play, Archbishop Hoban earlier in the tournament down in South Range. And we played them tough for 2 quarters. Of course, Hoban is who they are. We still have Stowe coming up here in a couple weeks. But I was looking, at the voting for the tournament, and there was a lot of great talent on there. And we're just going to fight, and that's all it is we're going to try to do what we do, stay within ourselves, and just compete. We want to compete every single day in practice and compete as soon as we step on the floor against anyone else.
I want to talk about the conference here, and it's small. Not a lot of teams, but man, is it good. What do you think playing the conference that you play and playing the teams like Canfield and Fitch and Warren Harding and Howland twice a year do for your team going forward?
So Canfield got us out there. Hopefully we can get that rescheduled and play them again at our place. But the win against Howland was huge for us. I believe our seniors only beat them one other time in their high school career. So they were really excited from that one. And it showed them again that, hey, you can compete with anyone if you just do what we do. Don't try to, play outside of yourself. Move the ball, be strong with the ball and attack when you can.
The non-conference opponents in the future in non-COVID world, and hopefully we pray that non-COVID world comes soon. In a normal year, your non-conference schedule can be loaded with area teams. I mean, Cardinal Mooney, year in, year out, they have a solid girls basketball program. Ursuline, the same thing. There's 2 teams down in the southern part of Mahoning County, the northern part of Columbiana County, and West Branch and Salem that are 2 solid basketball programs. It's not that we don't have some pretty good caliber competition. Even though some of these teams are not D1, it would still provide a really, really good base for your schedule before you go out of the area to take on some D1 teams.
Yeah, is a lot of talent around here. I mean, Poland, wow. They've got some really good talent over there. South Range with the Izzy. There's a lot of talent around here. Salem with their guards. We want to do as much as we can to prepare ourselves for the tournament and the teams that we're going to face, while also still allowing, for the hometown flavor and playing games for the community as well. As we get better and everyone in the area gets better, I'm hoping that the competition around here continues to do so. I mean, West Branch was in the state Final Four last year. So there's some teams that's going to go far this year, I believe.
Man, we talked about it, the talent in this area. What do you as a girls basketball coach, and you see so much talent in girls basketball across the area, it doesn't matter what division it is. How excited does that make you just for the growth of the sport and the growth of girls sports in the area of the Youngstown, Mahoning Valley area?
There's so much that you can learn in high school sports that, you're going to be able to continue on and throughout your life, whether it's dealing with resiliency, increasing resiliency, just getting up and fighting every single day to make it work for your family. I mean, that's teamwork right there in a nutshell, is having a family and being able to go through the in and outs of family life, whether it's work as well. So I'm really excited about the girls sports in this area. One thing that we talk about is, most of the girls on the team are going to go to school after high school. They're going to go to continue, with college and whatnot. And why not get better if this is what you're going to do and let somebody else pay for it? You're going anyway. So that's one thing we talk about is preparing ourselves for that academically, socially, and, physically, athletically. So,
Coach, all the best to you, and congratulations. First year at Boardman. I know the program is in really good hands. I'm especially thankful that you are taking the time to build the program from the ground up. I love what you guys are doing from 3rd grade all the way up through 8th grade. and it's going to pay dividends down the road. It's Spartan Nation made a really, really good hire when they put you in charge of this program, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The staff that we have right now, my wife, she played in college. She coached in college as well. There's Coach Rankin, who's got 30-plus years of experience over in the WPIAL. He's got some WPIAL championships under his belt. And then, Coach G, Lauren Gabriel, she's a Spartan through and through. So,
all right, all the best to you, sir.
Hey, thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.